Hello, my lovely viewers. Are you ready to find out what happens next? Let's do it then. Chapter 11. The Question. The question never left my mind. All throughout the day, that's all I thought of. And when I came across my wife, I couldn't even speak right. I was too damn nervous to even look her in the eye. I couldn't even sleep last night. I couldn't stop thinking about having a child with Ian. I stood on the balcony, watching as the sun rose from the horizon. A pair of arms snaked around my waist, causing me to turn my head and look at the person. "You didn't come to bed last night," Ian's soft voice said. I smiled softly down at her, turning around and picked her up in a hug. "It's all right, my dear. I was just thinking it's all," I said. "What were you thinking of?" I heard her ask. I tensed a bit, but relaxed. "Just something, my love." I released her from the hug and smiled down at her. Her eyes looked into mine, then looked away. "Adam, I've had a question on my mind since yesterday, and..." she stuttered. I blinked, tilting my head to the side. "What is it?" "Well, Mana asked when we were going to have a child, and she said, looking everywhere but me. My face flushed, so it wasn't just me. I bit my lip as I cupped her chin, lifting her head so she would look at me. I was asked the same thing as well. "Ian, do you want to have a child with me?" I asked her, raising a brow. Her face flushed as she looked me in the eyes. "You don't have to now, since it's so soon. I was just..." She placed her index finger over my lips, silencing my rambling. "Adam, I would love to have your child. It's just..." she stated. I smiled and pecked her forehead. "You want to wait a little longer?" I asked, raising a brow. She smiled shyly and nodded her head. "It's just that we haven't even shared a real kiss. I just want to wait a little longer," she said as she cupped my cheeks. I smiled sweetly at her and leaned down slowly. She closed her eyes and stood on her tiptoes. Just as our lips were about to touch, Zero walked into the room. "My Pharaoh, I need to speak with you," he said. I sighed and pulled away from my wife. "What is it, Zero?" I asked as I walked towards him. He raised a brow and looked at me, then at Ian. "Was I interrupting something?" he asked, something gleaming in his eyes, but I couldn't tell what it was. "No, you weren't. Now tell me what it is you need," I told him. He nodded his head and led me out of the room. We walked in silence as he led me to the throne room. "Zero, tell me, what is it?" I asked him again. As we stepped into the throne, a loud squeal erupted, piercing my ears. I looked up and sighed. It was one of my obsessive suitors. She ran up to me, pulling me into a tight embrace. My love! I groaned and tried to pry her off of me. Great, this is just what I needed. I'll leave you to this, sire, Zero said as he left, heading back down the corridor we had came from. I just really hope Ian doesn't see this. She might get mad. Or worse, this crazy girl might hurt her. Chapter 12. Wrong Idea. I had somehow got the girl off of me, catching some much-needed breath. I'm so glad to see you with them. I know it must have been hard without me here to be there for you, but I knew you would manage, she said, twirling a lock of her dark hair. I sighed and pinched the bridge of my nose. Look, I'm already married. You need to go back to your kingdom, I said, trying to sound as nice as possible. She blinked and just stared at me with a dumbfounded expression. She smiled and hugged me tight. Again. I know that's silly. You're married to me, she squealed. I pushed her off of me and looked at her. I'm sorry, princess, but I'm not married to you. I married a kind girl named Ian, I said, my expression softening at the mention of my beloved wife. She narrowed her eyes as she stomped up to me. You're cheating on me, she yelled. I sighed, placing a hand on her head. We were never married, princess. That is why you were sent away by my guards. You weren't the right woman for me. But I'm sure there is a nice prince or nobleman out there waiting for you, I said with a soft smile. She huffed and glared at me. But I don't want anyone else. I want you with them, she yelled. I flinched, taking a step away from her, holding my hands up. Okay now, there's no need to yell, I said. She stamped her foot, tears running down her face. I sighed again. Why couldn't Zero have handled this himself? Guards, can you please escort this princess out of the palace, please? 2 guards walked up to the princess, each taking one of her arms. They picked her up and carried her away. She was kicking and screaming, but they wouldn't budge. I waited until she was no longer seen or heard. I rubbed my temples as I walked back to my room, where my wife would be waiting for me. I thought of her smiling at me. Just the thought of her made butterflies flutter in my stomach. There is no other girl out there that is like her. Time seemed to slow down when I was with her. What she had said earlier popped into my mind. We haven't even shared a real kiss yet. She was right. We have been married for over 2 weeks now, and we haven't shared a kiss. I shook my head, getting rid of the thought. We almost did, but then the princess issue came up. I just wanted to go to bed and hold my queen in my arms. I walked into our shared room, running a hand through my hair, and sighed. Sorry about that, my queen. It was just... Them? The sight in front of me shocked me to no end. I'll be finished here for now, guys. But don't worry, the next part will be coming very soon. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the notification bell. I'll see you guys next time. Bye everyone.